What's up, Nerd Crew? Nurdie J here, along with
Ben,
and today is going to be our anniversary for the channel, our first one. Congratulations, by the way.
you too.
And that, yeah, hopefully we can continue this up for another year at least. And
Right.
thoughts?
Just been quite a year, pretty much.
Yeah, been quite a ride. So, all right. Well, anything that you want to say for the future, then?
Just that more. I noticed we have been doing a lot of Pokemon stuff and Transformer stuff, and I'm trying to bring some more into it too. Like I said, I'm kind of a virgin about it, so I'm like scared a little bit. You know,
Understandable.
and I know just so sorry, it's stuck a little bit. But I do want to do Transformers and
You want to figure out what your reviews are,
yeah.
like my Transformers.
I'm gonna try to get my foot around, and I've been practicing. I've been doing mock reviews on the cameras and stuff like that, and then like I said, mock practice reviews, not like, oh, I'm gonna show them later in the year. No, just practicing.
Yeah, because Ben is mainly a video game kind of guy, but he doesn't know where to start or where to be at. And so essentially, if you have a suggestion on video game toys or video games that are kind of on the easier side to review, anything like that, or any toy related adjacent thing that you can review.
The only thing is I don't do first-person shooter type stuff.
So
Nothing against it. I'm not trying to.
maybe like a platformer or a beat 'em up type of thing to start off with, something easy. He has been trying to think about how he could do video game cleaning videos. Maybe if there's enough hype on your guys' end, then put it in the comments that you would like to see something to the effect, and we'll figure out how to do that.
And I'm talking about video game cleaning for basic beginners, not like people who are like, oh, I even need to know the biggest tips. You're gonna be looking at the wrong person for that.
It's more of, let's call it more of a relaxing video,
Like
a casual watch.
I just want it to be like, oh, I don't have a game that works. Maybe I figure out which alcohol to use with it, which alcohol not to use with it, that kind of stuff.
Kind of like a repair guide for first-time vintage collectors.
So what we're trying to get at is that I'm hoping this year I can bring something different to the table.
Because if you guys haven't noticed, I have a month solo, and then the following month we're doing something together, like right now. And that's going to be his month. We just need to know what you guys want from him, and be nice in the comments too. So, anything else?
Nothing much else. Let's just get the video started, Brent.
All right. So we are doing a 10-question questionnaire for each of us. We wrote down these questions, and in the future, if you guys want more of these videos, maybe we'll do it once a year, maybe type of thing, and we'll answer your guys' questions later on the road. So, without further ado, let's get started. Since I'm the host, you want me to go?
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Reason for the channel.
So the reason why I created the channel was back in 2016. I created the Nurdie Boyz before this one, but that kind of went sunk. But the whole reason why behind this channel and the previous channel is for decades, Ben and me and my brother were talking about things that we always wanted to see that we never get to see. Some really awesome nerdy stuff. I also wanted to have a voice and a community that would appreciate that kind of stuff. So that's why I created this channel, and Ben tagged along.
So for what I'm getting at is one of those reviewing and talking about things that are outside the box, kind of.
Not necessarily outside of the box. More like I know that the fandom of Transformers mainly is pretty toxic. And I just kind of never felt safe going into like a convention or something, or a forum, and because I grew up with the dark ages of Transformers,
Right.
1992 to minus Beast Wars, which is still kind of dark if you're a G1er, but I grew up with Generation 2 and Beast Machines, and those two are kind of my favorites. And essentially, I just feel like I have no voice because everybody's like, "Oh, well, you're not a fan of G1," or else, "How dare you like Beast Machines and not Beast Wars?" Well, I love Beast Wars too, but they don't want to hear it because it's a toxic fandom.
Okay. Did he?
So, my question for you is, what is your favorite video game console?
My favorite video game console?
Hmm?
That would be Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Why?
Because that's what I grew up mostly with. Like, I did start off with the Nintendo. And I did get the Genesis and stuff like that. But Super Nintendo is what I mostly remember 100%.
Okay.
My childhood, like, played Mega Man, I played Ninja Turtles, I played Super Mario, I played pretty much everything on that thing. Like,
Sounds like a great memory.
like Genesis and Nintendo, like, they had their memories, but they weren't, like, as bright as Nintendo.
They don't stick out.
Yeah.
Okay.
My second question for you is, what got you into Transformers?
Well, so that's kind of a loaded question. I had a very violent childhood, causing me to have PTSD and pretty much social anxiety. What helped me get through a lot of that, well, just coast through it, I should say, was my brother taught me Transformers. He was born 2 years before Transformers, and he got me into it when I started getting into Transformers, and it really helped out a lot.
Okay.
And I never
So
really
that's where the escape from the real world kind of thing?
pretty much as an escapism because of how violent and I was being bullied constantly and stuff. And I was also kind of afraid that if anybody found out that I really was into Transformers as much as I would get bullied for that, and then I just would have, I don't know what would happen.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right. Do you prefer collecting physical or digital media?
Physical 90%.
Okay.
And I say that because physical, you have the disc or the cartridge with you, so you have the copy of it with you.
Right.
But digital too, because sometimes the physical copy can be completely expensive,
Mm-hmm.
like to the point where you have to sell your kidney to even find a copy of it.
Right.
Both of them also have their dislikes too, because now, like in modern gaming, you just get the base game without the patches and upgrades, stuff like that. But the retro games, you get a complete package.
Right.
The thing about digital is you never really own it.
Right. You're pretty much just renting it for the exact price.
Yeah, you're still at the whim of the company that your system's based on. So if they say, "Oh, sorry, we lost the license to Call of Duty or whatever,"
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there goes the game.
Or if it's some other company bought it out, like let's say you like a PlayStation kind of company, but yeah, Microsoft bought it out.
Yeah, because Activision owned Deadpool. I bought Deadpool one time on PS4, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just buckled down and bought it for digital.
Yeah.
And then they just like, well, sorry, we don't have Activision's license anymore, so they just took it all down, and I couldn't download it anymore.
Yeah.
But then they brought it for the second Deadpool movie, brought it back up, and I had to rebuy it all over again.
Yep.
And that, my friend, was a $50 game each time.
I'm just glad on my end with Activision being bought out. On my end, I still have the original copies to Transformers Fall, War, Devastation, and Darkspark.
Well, the thing about Activision and Blizzard and all stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
Xbox is starting to believe that they could make a lot more money if they just leave those companies alone,
Mm-hmm.
but still have their name on it. Kind of like how Pepsi is, like they own Frito-Lay and Taco Bell and KFC,
Right.
but they don't put the like Pepsi present,
Yeah. Or Pepsi on.
So they have been thinking about doing that. So My turn?
Yeah.
I know that you've been talking a little bit about Power Rangers and stuff, so who's your Power Ranger crush and why is it should be Kimberly or Trini?
Oh, so it has to be those two.
Yep,
Oh.
yeah, let's do 100%.
Honestly, I was too young for the most part, but I guess rewatching it as a teenager for a while there, because they came back with that season 18 version. As a teenager, I would say it would be Greg. I guess it was Kimberly for the longest time, but looking back, I'm kind of like, there's something there too. But it would have been Kimberly more than likely.
Okay. Mine would like you said, it would have been Trini.
Yeah. Both of them have their pros and cons. So, I think what ruined it for me with Kimberly was the whole big matchup between her and Tommy, and then the Dear John letter happened in season 3.
Did you watch the Once and For All?
Once and always, it has.
Yeah, where Tommy, no, he didn't get married to Kimberly. He got married to Kat.
So making Zeno's backwards Christmas special thing canon now.
So,
Yeah.
I learned that from Linkara.
Yep. My thing is that if it's not just Power Rangers Mighty Morphin, I would say my crush growing up would have been Jen from Time Force. Because she was the leader of the group.
Okay.
And she was just badass and just awesome.
I kind of lost interest after Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
Not
A lot of people did.
Not like I hated it or think it was terrible or anything. I would catch an episode or two. But I'm like constant viewing, like I'd get up every week and pull myself a bowl of cereal or whatever and watch it. I kind of ended up not doing it because I went, ooh, video games.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of did that after Time Force. Because Time Force, it was kind of a hairy situation if I would get Wild Force in or not. And that just kind of ruined it for me until Samurai came on and I was able to watch Samurai again.
Well, because like you said, I was kind of young at the time and I didn't understand continuality. But there's like, I'm like, who are these guys? I don't like these guys. I don't want to watch these anymore. Kind of, you know.
So, yeah, that's kind of why in the background we're watching Super Sentai right now. We're watching that, and just so he knows what to expect with Power Rangers a little bit.
Because when you're like about 6, 7, 8 years old, you don't understand, like, okay, this is the continuation of the story, but a different galaxy or different dimension or something like that. Back then, you're just like, okay, another Power Rangers movie. Where's the rest of where'd the Power Rangers go?
And the Falcon Sword becomes an Amtrak
So,
rail. So, all right.
your turn.
What led you to joining the channel as a full-ish time person?
What led me to join this channel? Kidnapped. I joined this channel because I kind of wanted to, like he said earlier, kind of do reviews and stuff like that based on things that not everybody's doing at the time. And like, if I could find something really kind of interesting at Walmart, something, and I thought maybe somebody would just like say, hey, we'll do a review on that, you know, just to let people know. I'm not saying it's like trying to change your life or anything.
It's kind of like the Peeps video. Let people know. So,
like, I go to pawn shops, I go to Goodwill and stuff like that, and I find games I had no idea that even existed, and I, maybe thought about reviewing a game that, I just found at a store or something, or, not necessarily Call of Duty or those big hit games all the time and stuff.
yeah.
So, my turn?
Yeah.
You play video games as a kid, and what got you into them?
So, once again, it was a violent trauma situation as a kid growing up. Constant fighting and stuff. So, my sister would take us, and we would play the Nintendo Entertainment System back in the 90s. And it kind of just sparked something into me. And at the same time, it also sparked whenever playing like a video game that doesn't require music or the dialogue off the TV type thing.
Mm-hmm.
My sister and my brother and I would play video games on mute and would listen to the radio. So it got me into like listening to music at the same time as playing video games.
Any video, like any game specifically?
The one that stuck out in my mind as a kid playing was 3D World Run.
Okay.
That game was hard, but essentially, yeah, I played up until the PlayStation pretty much, and then I kind of just got waned down.
Okay.
So
But you still play video games today, don't you?
off and on.
Like, 'cause we do know that you have arthritis and carpal tunnel and stuff.
And then I just yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I play it off and on. I don't play it all that much, but I more play like casual games like Minecraft, creative.
Track, Minecraft, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't play the hard games anymore that requires like a lot of button mashing and stuff. So,
Alright, your turn.
so essentially, I got you into Transformers. But when I got you into Transformers, you really clung to Megatron, the G1 Megatron specifically. Why was that?
Because he's kick butt. He's the baddest of them all. Like, I understand he's a bad guy. Nobody's supposed to like the bad guy, because he's bad guy, but I'm like, there's so many good guys that are like, oh, I want to get peace and stuff like that, but he wants to do peace his way.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to make Megatron currently.
So, and he wants to do peace, like, if he has to destroy you, he's gonna destroy you to get it. He's gonna run through you if he has to run through you.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the biggest reasons why I picked up. And I know there's other Transformer characters that have been doing that in the series and stuff like that. But Megatron did it the first and the best.
Yeah.
Because all the other bad guys, all the other villains and stuff like that are just like, I just want power, I just want power. I'm like, that's so lame.
Yeah. Megatron wanted peace through tyranny, and then somehow formed. And when he got upgraded to Galvatron, he wanted to create Cybertron as a body for himself.
So
That was weird. Alright, your turn.
If you're stranded on a desert island, what Transformer would you bring and why?
Alright. Thinking. Well, I wouldn't bring any G1s because if I'm on a deserted island, I don't want to take a chance of like breakage, never having a transformer there. I wouldn't do G2 because same reason, fragility and the plastic. Wouldn't do a Beast Warrior or Beast Machine, anything from that era because so I would have to go current.
Right?
So current, I'm a toss up between two.
But it's just a question.
I know.
Not,
It would be Skyfire from Transformer Siege. Because he's big, he is just fun to play with.
right?
Or else I would probably choose Legacy Mentor, which is technically 5, that form into 1. So it really just depends on my mood on that point.
Everybody knows mine, Megatron.
G1?
Probably not G1, because I still have master transforming that. Probably like one of the tank ones at least.
Ah, okay. Like Generation 2 where he's green and purple?
Pretty much. Jaded?
Alright. How did you get into video games as a kid?
I would have to say a combination between my mom and my sister. My sister first because she had like this weird Macintosh computer. You know, it's one of those big square computers that's like
The one that you would play Oregon Train on?
Oregon Train or Number Munchers.
Okay.
Yes, I'm that old.
Or Minesweeper?
Minesweeper, yes, I'm that old.
We're hard now.
It's like this white block.
Yeah.
And it has like the floppy disk thing at the bottom of it. It's all one thing.
And those floppy disks were like floppy.
Yeah. And then she'd have this like little computer like desk thingy. But it's like so small. It's like you go to Walmart and you buy those like little small bookshelves. It's about that size. And all it has room is for the computer. And all you have to do is pull out the keyboard. And that started me into video games. But what got me addicted to video games was when my mom bought me a Nintendo for I believe, my 5th or 6th birthday, I think.
Okay.
And I played Super Mario, and I played Super Mario 3 all the time, and I remember going to, which we had a rental place, it's called Skagway, but now it's been defunct for 20 years or so.
Yeah.
We would rent video games every time you get a good week at school, and
That's where I got most of my Digimon toys that I'm reviewing currently.
and it got me hooked into 100%. So,
Okay.
my turn.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite video game, and is it the favorite video game of all time?
So, I have a favorite video game of all time, but I have a favorite video game too.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of like a pleasant sequel. But my favorite video game of all time is Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals, because that was very nostalgic. It was I could literally play as the Beast Warriors at that time.
PlayStation or
PlayStation.
the version?
PlayStation. The one that I currently own is my childhood one. Later on, I did get the Blockbuster N64,
Which I own now.
yeah, which I could not figure it out how to play, but so I gave it to him. Compared too many buttons, and plus I'm not a big N64 control pad guy. So, but for my current favorites, it's a toss up between three. Now that I think about it, Transformers Devastation, Transformers Fall of Cybertron,
Right.
and Transformers War for Cybertron.
Okay.
It's really difficult because do I want to go G1 or do I want to go pre-Earth? So.
And
Yeah.
Okay, kind of.
All right.
Your turn.
What is the video game character that you gravitate to?
That'd be X from Mega Man X.
Okay.
Because when I was like back in that Super Nintendo age, I was gonna say Superman. Super Nintendo age. One of the games that my mom or I bought, I can't remember which, that for the Super Nintendo, and I played a ton out of that sucker. And I remember a sticker coming off the front of it, and of course I didn't keep the box. Sucks, I know. So I played over and over and over again. I didn't get to play the X2 or X3 version of the game because they always get rented out and probably even got a chance to it. Not saying I never did, but like.
Yeah, it's kind of like back in the day when I wanted to rent Transformers the '86 movie. It would be constantly out, but very rarely you would get a chance to rent it.
Yeah, so Mega Man X from Mega Man X, I'm trying to say is, yeah, that's who I gravitate towards.
All right.
My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Who exactly inspired you for the channel?
So who inspired me for the
It could
channel?
be fake. It could be not fake, but it could be like TV show from anywhere.
So the idea of the channel came from you, mainly. Yeah, and because you remember 20 years of talking about it.
Yeah.
And then what really got me started was Bolt Matrix. He's a toy reviewer, and he was reviewing things that other people just wouldn't review for toys. And then it would also be Emgo because he would also do skits at the end of the videos that I always admired. So.
Okay. Jiggy?
So how did Deadpool become your favorite? One more time. How did Deadpool become your favorite comic book character?
Mostly due to the out-of-box experience of the characters. Like,
The randomness?
yeah, it didn't fit the mold all the time of like the superhero characters like Superman or Batman or that kind of stuff. Like, he isn't always doing the best for peace, or I am dark and gritty and I need revenge. Like, he does have revenge because his girlfriend or wife died and murdered and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's more like crazy.
Yep.
Fourth wall crazy.
And also his girlfriend is the literal embodiment of death.
Yep.
So. All right.
My turn?
Yeah.
If you could collab with anybody on YouTube or anybody on TV, who would you collab with?
This one's going to be two different answers. the first answer, I would love to collab with, for myself, if I were to do it, it would be a toss-up between Imgo 316
Okay.
or Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer.
Okay.
And that's because Imgo does the skits at the end, Lazy Eyebrow does stop motion.
Okay.
For us, if we were to do something together, and I would love to do something either with Dane Drops or the Game Ropes. So that's just how I see it.
On my end, it'd probably be Pro Jared.
For sure.
He's my inspiration for YouTube, and I do know he got in trouble years ago.
Yeah.
But that doesn't define the man necessarily. The mistakes don't define the man. It's the actions that do.
And also when the person found out that the kids were lying about it too.
Well, he did have.
Well, yeah, but you have to be 18 years old or older to enter the website, but they lied about that.
It's all deciding.
Yeah,
that's a whole matter.
That's a whole different discussion.
Story, though.
So, and what about if we were to do it together? Who would you want it to come up with?
Together, I would probably say. That's hard. I never actually thought about that way.
Work in progress.
If we are more famous, probably Game Grumps, pretty much.
Yeah. So, alright. Why did you choose the PlayStation systems, to be more specifically,
right,
as your main collection for?
I mainly collect it for because it has the most of what I like, and it's most from up till now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Super Nintendo will always be my favorite system of all time, but PlayStation is what I grew up the rest of the way with. And I'm like, okay, it has RPGs, the rest of the Mega Man series is on it, stuff like that. I'm sticking with it. No hate against Nintendo, no hate against Xbox. Xbox, I'm sorry, your controller's a little weird. I can't take it.
Yeah, too many buttons and configuration.
Nintendo, even though they're really good, like I recommend playing Mario Wonder and all those other games, they're too family friendly for me. And they focus on a lot of 2-player, 3-player games and stuff like that. Work together and all stuff. I'm like, I don't necessarily want to play those 100% of the time. Like, I play a lot more games than he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll play like probably 2 hours and he'll probably be done for the whole entire day.
Or a week.
Me, I'll play 8 to 6 a day possibly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it doesn't quite work when you got multiplayer games and you're only one person,
Yeah.
at the time. So,
yeah. Your turn.
My turn.
Yep.
Who is your role model so far?
So, growing up, my role models were my sister.
Okay.
She pretty much got out of the violence as soon as she could, and I always respected that. And my brother, because he got me into Transformers, and taught me the ways of the Transformers, and also GoBots a bit too. 1983 GoBots. I also got into the 2003 GoBots too. So, as far as fictional for childhood, I didn't really have a fictional person. I had a persona. Somebody that had a persona, that was Justin Wilson.
Okay.
He was a chef, cook, country cook from Louisiana, but he's actually not from Louisiana.
Right.
And so essentially, that was my role model for getting into food and stuff.
Okay.
Growing up, now as an adult, it's still my sister. You, honestly, because you're helping me in a lot of ways, in the background of stuff. And I would say Rodimus Prime.
The background.
Rodimus Prime in G1, because he got into a position where he didn't want to be, and he had to battle depression too.
Right.
So I find that very admirable.
Okay.
So, what is your role model growing up now?
My role model growing up, I would have to say, like I said earlier, Pro Jared.
Okay.
If anybody wants to know, he's a Let's Play YouTuber on YouTube. Pro Jared Plays. If you want to go to his channel.
Or Pro Jared VOD.
Yeah, his VODs are his Twitch stuff.
Yeah, this is really good.
The Pro Jared by itself, he's kind of early on there. I mean, he does post. Don't get me wrong. Just that mostly does on Pro Jared Plays.
Oh yeah, he also does now in the 90s.
Yeah, now in the 90s, every Friday.
Yep.
Like I said, check that out too. He's one of my biggest role models because even though he did have that situation where, like we were talking about earlier, he handled it with professionalism.
Oh,
he didn't sit there and go, well, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, and cried and complained and whined. He went. He went quiet. Yes, that's the only thing I kind of have a problem with.
But it was also trying to find all the information.
He was trying to get the information himself too, and try to gather evidence, so that way when he does come back and talk about it, he has the evidence for it.
Right.
Instead of just going like, well, I don't remember the person, and that's it. Because then they can then the people say, well, oh yeah, but he blah blah blah, and stuff like that.
So, and what?
A little bit of you.
Me?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Just because.
Oh yeah, during a night moment, right?
Oh yeah. My turn.
Yeah.
So my last question is for you. What's your favorite animal?
Favorite animal is a white tiger. It's usually I consider it a Siberian white tiger, but there are white Bengal tigers too.
Now, are you talking about white tigers like snow tigers, kind of?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah. They're my favorite. That's why our mascot is my past cat. Our mascot is a white tiger because his name was Tiger, and so I just decided to keep a black and white image and just have it kind of like fuse the two.
Okay.
So, but my favorite bird of prey is a peregrine falcon.
Okay.
So, and those two were my favorites way before Beast Wars. So, that was my phone. So the thing is that it just happened to be that my favorite Beast Warriors are my favorite animals too. So,
okay.
All right. Last question. No matter what the system, what would be the game that you would want most that you don't currently have?
For the system?
No matter what system.
That'd be X3, because I have X2, X1 and X2. The X3 I want really bad, and it's super freaking expensive. It's like $400, $500 now.
Wow.
Just for the cartridge.
Yeah.
And I want to get it because it'll be one of the big games I got completed for the collection, and all I have to look for is the 2 Game Boy games and the command missions, I believe.
Okay.
Or probably the goofy DOS versions of them too. And I think that's it.
That is it. Anything that you want to add or roundabout restate?
Just I want to say thanks to the 7, 8 or subscribers that are watching us for the years.
Yeah.
Just thanks for a good year. We're not trying to make this channel into like a big explosion channel. We're not like PewDiePie or something like million subscribers just doing it for fun.
Yep.
So.
And if you guys want to stick around, more the merrier.
Yeah.
That's all that you can do. It's not like we can force you. We don't want to force either, so.
I'm standing behind your front door.
It is so.
Are you watching?
One more thing, it's just restating. Please let us know if you can. Let us know in the comments what you would like to see Ben do.
Yeah, like ideas and stuff.
Yeah, just any ideas as long as it's appropriate, and we'll put it under consideration.
Well, I guess I can pull off my clothes.
So it's not going to be a members only kind of channel either. So,
yeah.
But keep it appropriate. Keep it to what we stated, what Ben's likes are, and if nothing further,
Well, then I'm Ben.
I'm JD. We're the Nurdie Boyz. Catch you next time.